Yo, 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 yo. We in the place to be. What's going on? You are now tuned in. You heard the theme music. You see these faces. You know what time it is. It is about that time. I am your boy, your host, Tech Dog, your favorite friendly, lovable loudmouth.
And I am the voice of the people. I'm here to speak for y'all. This is the Let's Get Canceled podcast. Hey, yo, cousin,
Yo.
you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's get canceled, my nigga. Let's do it.
Yo, you seem a little hot today. What's wrong with you, man? You all right?
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, I know you've been waiting on this for like a month long.
Bruh,
I
I
know you've been
live for
waiting on
this moment. Right now,
You've
I
been
live
waiting
for
on this
this.
for like a month. I called the fight. I said Charlo was going to be Canelo.
You
We brought a
did.
guest on. And he told me I was wrong. He gave me some reasons why I was wrong. And just bring him on, man. Bring him in here, man. Bring
I
him in
got
here.
you. I got you. Hey,
You
yo,
got something to
everybody,
say?
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's give it up for that man, that dude, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Gavin Rafferty.
What up, Cuddy, man? What up, man? Dust your shoulders off, huh? That's how you do
Sorry,
it?
sorry about that. Sorry about that. What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey,
Man,
Gav. No, 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 no,
Um,
no, 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 no. Tom, you don't get to talk. I'm about to do this one. Check this out. Sir, I'm so glad that you're here. You don't understand the heat that I took over the first two, like my picks for football and all
uh-huh.
that. And then this guy starts talking like, oh, well, look, I'm going to call my boy. He's a boxing expert. He does other. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to show him what's up. Then he got on here selling out on you. He was just like, oh, well, I got this, I got that. Nah, bro, no. I'm telling you now, man. Canelo got too many miles on him. I remember that. That's a direct quote. Canelo got too many miles on him. And then you started calling, and then I watched. And I'm so happy. Like, you have no idea, bro. I'm so
he
happy.
been waiting a month. He been waiting a month for me to be wrong, and you finally
Oh,
got one. I'm gonna tell you this though. The homie Peach hit me up in the DM. Was like, "Hey, just stick to football, man." Broke my heart, homie. Broke my heart. The little homie said, "Man, just stick to football." You know what? All right. I got one wrong. I got one wrong.
you did. Absolutely got one wrong. So,
I mean,
Mr. Rafferty, if you would, can you kind of take us through, let us know what was said in the previous live, and then what the results were as you saw them.
um, there was a bunch of words involved by this gentleman on the left hand of my screen right here, who I love like a brother. It was no, listen. I mean, that's what boxing is. We talked about it off camera beforehand. Um, I've probably gotten more wrong than I've gotten right, and just being a student of the game and kind of kind of reading it. I mean, my thing about the fight, the biggest thing was, I almost said thing. I've been watching too much Top Boy. Them thing.
Top
Um,
boy is dope though. Top boy is dope.
yeah, Wagwan. Um, it was I think the moment was too big. I mean, it was kind of a win-win for him in a sense of coming up two weight classes, um, against one of the greatest fighters of all time. If he loses, um, you know, it's not going to be looked upon, if he was fighting someone, someone in his division or something like that, a contemporary in that way. But like you were saying, back to what you asked, I mean, a lot of things were said. Tommy thought Charlo was going to get it done. Obviously, it didn't happen. Um, and listen, I'm not here to gloat. I'm not here to gloat. It's just, I
Yes,
kind of
you
know
are.
boxing, and I'm a student of it, and I love it, and I enjoyed the fight. I think the biggest thing, and even Charlo said it in his post fight, which was a weird thing for someone to say, is, he was like, "Oh, I didn't," but at least I'm proud of myself. I didn't get knocked out. I think he went in there to survive, and he didn't go in there to win the fight. And it was pretty evident early on that he was not going to win the fight. And he was like, "Oh shit." He didn't engage. He was backing up. He was doing all kinds of things. Even Canelo, who, fighters read each other. They're going in early and they're kind of standing off. And then Canelo was literally just like a tiger with his prey, just like, "Okay, yep, you can hit me. Come on, bop, bop, bop." And that was it. You know what I mean? Like, he was getting after him. So
And that's the
it
thing I
was,
was gonna ask you about because Canelo normally early on in the fights, he's going to feel out his opponents and that
Yep.
sort of thing.
Yep.
And what I noticed was Charlo wasn't taking advantage of those early rounds when Canelo's normally more laid back.
Well, honestly, that's when, not to cut you off, sorry, Tommy. That's when, if you want to establish a theme and a rhythm for a fight, you got to do it early. You got to get your respect early.
Right.
If he wanted to do anything, because once it goes past 2-3 rounds and Canelo gets in his pocket, it's over. Once he's in his rhythm, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, that guy's in his thing. So it's really hard to establish a rhythm once you're already being dominated. If he would have came out and dropped and landed a big right hand or something in the first round, now we have a conversation. Now we have a different fight. Now we
and
have
that's where I was going to go with you on this piece. Do you think, had Charlo come out and do you think he didn't think he would actually be able to hurt him? So that's why he stayed back so long?
Yeah,
or was he hit?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he knew he was in there with the lion. He figured out, oh shit. I mean, he even said, like, in those quotes that I was saying, when he was like, oh, I survived, I didn't get knocked out. He's like, but I've knocked everybody. He said, I've knocked everybody else out. That's fine. I don't give a shit who else you knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is completely irrelevant to me.
That ain't today.
You know what I mean? Like,
listen, man,
that's inconsequential. I don't care who else you've knocked out. You're talking about this fight. You know what I mean? Like, you could run up on Holly Berry and be like, you know, I fucked Beyonce and I did all this damage, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you close that deal,
hey, listen,
unless
man,
you close that deal.
Listen, bro, I have been in my share of fights, and you throw some and you win some, and I would assume you lose some. I wouldn't know, but but listen, the problem is that your last fight don't mean nothing in this fight, and like I said, we were talking off air a little bit ago about some of the shocking moments in boxing history that we witnessed. Some of which you witnessed in person, which I'm a little jelly of, but it's all good. But but nobody would have thought a Buster Douglas was going to be able to walk in the ring, no matter what was going on. If you would have asked me at the time, Mike Tyson could have been eating ho-hos and bonbons for 3 months before that fight, and he still was going to walk out way easy on that. But we all saw something magical happen. So on any given day in that boxing ring, anybody can get it. Anybody can lose. Anybody can win. This one just didn't seem like your boy wanted it.
That was my hope. That was what I was coming with. I knew he was the underdog. I knew he was not supposed to win that fight. But you're fighting a guy who's been out here all this time. You're on the come up. It's time for you to get yours. But Charlo seemed afraid, and he made the fight boring to me because he would not engage. And I think that was
he wouldn't engage. Yeah, he wouldn't engage. He was backing up, and like you were saying. About boxing and upsets and things like that. I've had many when I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to text all my boxing fam and just go on a whim and say, I remember, and I'll readily admit it because I'm not coming on here like I'm the boxing expert. I think it was Bud 2 or 3 fights ago. I can't remember who he was fighting. And I was like, yo, Bud's going to get these hands tonight. And everyone was like, what? And Bud knocked that dude slap out. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, word, okay. I was like, my bad. But it was more about, like, I like to, like, when I can pick something and see something, just like, honestly, what Tommy did. Tommy was like, yo, I'm just going to go out on a limb. Maybe this is going to happen. He's got a lot of miles. He's got over 60. He's got 64 professional fights. Turned professional 15 years old. So, you know what I mean? I can see the logic in what Tommy did, but Tommy done fucked up.
I did.
You played yourself, dude.
I'll take my beating on this one. I'll take my beating on this one. I earned this one because I talked a whole lot of shit about Charlo. I told everybody.
Listen. Did you get the Charlos mixed up?
But you know his brother was supposed to be the one to fight him to begin with.
I know, and he's the heavyweight fighter. But Canelo came out and said,
I'll be both of y'all guys.
He said they look exactly the same. He said they're the same size. I don't care which one I fight.
Yo, Canelo would have beat both of them at the same time the way things was going on Saturday.
Royal Rumble style all day.
Yeah.
But here's my question for you now, Tommy, because you are a boxing fan. So here's what happened. Here are the ramifications from that fight. So Charlo was the undisputed junior middleweight champion, 154 champion, right? All 4 belts. The second that bell rung in the first round, he got stripped of the WBO title.
Oh.
Tim Tszyu, Costa Tszyu's son,
Right.
who's a monster, he got elevated from interim to regular champion. And he's fighting next month to defend that title. And the winner of that fight, which is going to be Tim Tszyu, that should be Charlo's next fight. I believe that's the only logical thing that happens. But does my man want to go and take another L? I think he loses that fight. I think Tim Tszyu knocks him out.
He can't take another L right now. He
So
can't
does
take
he?
that L because then he won't be able to get the money fight. He has to. What he asked for after the fight was Crawford. And I think he has.
That's
Right.
what you heard what Crawford
That fight
said.
happened first.
Crawford doesn't want that fight anymore. That bores him now.
It really does. It made me
It
look
doesn't make
like
no sense.
I don't want to see that fight either. I don't.
And you know what fight Crawford said he wants though?
Who does he want now?
Canelo.
No, he doesn't.
And listen, I'm not saying it makes sense. He said, I want that fight. Canelo said, I don't think that fight makes sense for me, but we'll see what happens. I don't think that fight's going to happen.
It shouldn't happen.
It probably shouldn't happen.
If it does happen, who wins?
Ooh, at 168,
Yeah.
Canelo probably wins that fight.
Yeah, he's got to come up too much.
I mean, there's no way Canelo's going back down to 160. If it was at 160, I don't know. But also, I'm telling you right now, I would be on my Tommy shit if they even if they fought at 168, because Bud is a once in a generation talent with heavy hands.
Yeah,
That's
but
where
I
was
just don't
168 though. That's
what's that? Nah, I don't think it's too much. It's too much for him.
Yeah, that's an ugly jump.
It's too
Who
much.
else is there for Bud to fight? Because the Charlo doesn't have it. You don't want to see the Spence fight again. So who else is out there for him to fight?
I mean, the only thing that Bud could, listen, the Charlo fight maybe could happen. I'm not really interested in seeing that fight. I don't know if he takes an interim. If Costa Tszyu, if they fight, if Charlo and Costa Tszyu, Tim Tszyu fight,
right,
and Tim Tszyu wins that fight, I want to see Bud and Tim Tszyu. That's the fight I would love to see. But that's probably, I don't know, next summer, next fall, maybe. I mean, that's
right.
You know how boxing is slow.
You're looking at a 39, 40-year-old Crawford at that time.
Listen, that dude will be in the old age home playing shuffleboard, knocking kids slap out.
I don't want to see.
Yo, if somebody touches his Ensure, if somebody touches Bud Crawford's Ensure, someone will surely get knocked out.
That's real. But that's my big thing right now is Bud's running out of people to fight. He has to make the Charlo fight happen, but it's not going to be the big money fight that they expected it to be had Charlo won this particular fight.
I mean, it's hard at that division because now we're looking at, okay, the same way that he just, Charlo went up 2 divisions. How do you? I mean, back in the day, that was the thing. Light heavyweights would go up and win the heavyweight. Billy Conn in the fucking 30s, and all these people, Sugar Ray Robinson, all these people would go up and down, and they'd fight 4 or 5 times in a month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a big difference.
It was crazy.
Difference in what
They
we're
were
doing now.
fighting. Yeah.
Yo, it was crazy. You'd have guys who have 20 fights in a year. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. But, I mean, for him, like, honestly, I don't know with that. But getting off the Charlo thing, who does Canelo fight next?
Twin. He's got to fight the twin.
Nah, fuck that.
Why not? That was the fight that was supposed to happen before. I think he may have learned something from watching his brother. He knows to come out and be a little more.
What did he learn?
You got to be aggressive. You got to go out there and try to hit him. You have to try to hit him.
Okay.
No, who else is there for Canelo to fight?
No, he's gonna fight David Benavidez, who's fighting Demetrius Andre next month. Listen, he was he's super. He's 27-0 with 23 knockouts, undefeated. That's the only fight for him right now that makes sense. Unless he wanted to go. Listen, I don't think he should go up again and do like the Bivol. I mean, you saw what happened. The Bivol fight. I mean, obviously he lost that fight. Only his second loss in his career next to Floyd Mayweather. I think it's probably the only fight that makes sense. He's got to wait. He's got Cinco de Mayo. That's his next book. Time to fight. So that's a big time for them to fight. I'm hoping it's gonna be in New York, but It's not going to be in New York.
Nah, that's gonna be a better fight.
So wait. I got
No,
a
that
question.
fight will be in Mexico.
You think?
Yeah.
I got a question. So I just heard both of y'all say Crawford going up to 158,
68.
168.
168 now.
It's too much.
He's
And
147.
I understand that. And take it from a guy whose weight fluctuates regularly. But no, but is it me or does it sound like y'all doubt Crawford's ability?
I mean, listen, when people fluctuate a couple of pounds, when
Right.
someone comes in overweight, underweight, you see it in a fight. When someone's carrying even 2 pounds of weight, it's different. Like I mean, just like you were saying about you fluctuating with your weight, I'm the same with mine. I know if I put on 5 pounds, I feel different.
Right.
I walk different. I you know what I mean? Like my breath is different. I put on 10, 20, you know what I mean? Like when you put on different weight, you feel it. I think if you're an athlete,
fat fuck over here, don't matter. I'm just a fat fucker over here. It don't matter.
I didn't hear you. I thought you were eating snacks and shit. I didn't hear
My motherfucker. That's
but see, here's the thing though. Listen though, the problem is that if like, all right, so whatever the doubts were when he fought Spence, right?
Yeah.
Everybody had the same doubt. Spence is more tactical. He's more of a technical fighter. He's going to outbox him. He's going to do. And Crawford picked him apart.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think. Listen, I think it would be the same as Charlo just did, but it would be a better showing. I think Canelo would treat it differently. I think if they could make that fight happen, that would be the most exciting fight in boxing. I mean, that is you talk, and I think Crawford is about that, and I think Canelo's kind of about that because Crawford, he's one of those guys. It's like he's one of the greatest fighters of all time, a fighter of his generation, but he's never really had big, massive payday, big fights.
Right.
He kind of went under the radar. You understand what I'm saying, Tom? Kind of under the radar. Like everybody knew, real boxing fans, they had Bud Crawford as the guy, but he wasn't. Like Ryan Garcia's getting flashed, and you had all these other guys in divisions that were like doing things and making that splash. And he's just that. Listen, he's just that. Old school workman, like from where the fuck is he from? It's not Ohio. It's what? No, he's not from Lansing.
He's from Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. Yeah, he's from Omaha,
Yeah.
and he still lives in Omaha. You know what I mean? So he has that like. I don't know, man. He's just a gritty fighter. He's just like a street fighter. He's like some Roberto Duran. I don't want to see you in an alley and owe you money. You know what I mean? Like
straight up.
That dude got hands.
But that's the thing here.
Listen, I would be down for that him and Canelo fight. I don't think he'd win it. I think he'd have a chance. It's like it's like a home run hitter. You give me enough chances, I can land that punch. I just don't think it would happen. But if they want to make that fight, I'm down with it.
I just find it hard to fight the bet against him.
But being that Spence was his first real big money fight, do you think him taking on the Canelo fight just to get a payday? Do you think that would be the case there, or
no? I don't think necessarily. I think like I mean I can't remember if Charlo actually said it, but it's something the boxers say all the time. I dare to be great.
Right.
You know what I mean? I dare to be great. I'm gonna go do something that. Look at Roy Jones Jr. fighting John Ruiz, winning the heavyweight championship. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
but then
something
you have
like
Mayweathers that refuse to take those L's, though. I don't see Crawford as that kind of fighter.
Hey, gentlemen,
I don't see Crawford as that kind of guy.
Gentlemen, I want to ask you.
And fight.
I got a ringer that just came in.
Right.
I've got a guy who knows fighting and knows fighting well. So I'm going to try and make sure, see if he's in here. But this is a vet. We're talking UFC, bare knuckle fighting vet who is, I like to say, I taught everything he knows. He's in here somewhere. He keeps popping in and out. But his name is Jim the Beast Ehlers. And I want to see, Jim, can you hear us in there? Yo, Jim, can you hear us? I think he might be having some connection issues.
Jim, my man, where you at?
All right, I'm gonna give him a minute. Yeah, I see him there, but I don't hear him. trying to get it together. He wasn't just on screen. But either way, while he's getting that together, man. But yeah, so I didn't mean to interrupt your thought process there. I just saw him pop in. I wanted to get his take on it.
Not at all.
I will say this. I wasn't the only one that was wrong. I may have called the wrong fighter, but you said it was going to be a knockout. What happened to the knockout, man?
That's real. That's real.
I was nervous. I was nervous in 7 when he took that knee. I was nervous.
Listen. A broke clock is right twice a day, but there's 10 other hours in the day. You understand what I'm saying? I don't get it right all the time, but I'm telling you right now, when he went down in the 7th, you were like, God damn it.
Dude,
yeah, I was gonna call this shit.
I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking at that point. I was like, you know what?
No, you didn't.
If he goes down in 9, Joe,
don't bullshit me.
I'll never answer my phone again. I wasn't answering my phone for the rest of the night.
You must have ran out of liquor. I know you didn't stop.
You called me after round 1, after round 2, and after round 3. I wasn't gonna answer your phone calls no more.
It was. I mean, when he dropped him in the 7th, you could just see him take the heart out of his body. He was just like, I'm here to survive. I don't want to get embarrassed. I can at least say I wasn't knocked out, which is, I mean, listen, I can't judge another man. If I'm in that position, maybe I'm in there too. Like, I don't want to get knocked out.
But he was beat up.
No. I'm not giving him that. I can't. You don't get to. If you're a boxer, your job is to box, right? So if you're a fighter, your job is to fight. So let me do this right here. Jim, can you hear us over there, boss?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
My man, Jim the Beast Ayler is right here with us on the Let's Get Canceled podcast. Long
Jim,
time, homie. What'd you say?
Can you hear me? The cops?
Yeah, man. The cops getting pulled over?
Now we're driving.
True. Hey, man, I really appreciate you coming in, man. I hadn't talked to Jim in a while. When we started talking fighting the last episode, somebody mentioned bare knuckle fighting. I'm like, well, you know what? I personally know the bare knuckle beast. So why not? Let me reach out to my boy, see if he can give us his take. First off, did you get a chance to watch the Canelo fight?
No, man, I just competed yesterday in the jiu-jitsu tournament this weekend. So I've been busy, man.
True. Yeah, well, listen, give me this. Tell me your the differences, why you chose to go bare knuckle. Cause I know you're a mixed martial artist. Why you chose to do bare knuckle instead of traditional boxing?
Man, honestly, to me, traditional boxing is actually like a lot more dangerous to you for your brain and everything than bare knuckle. You know, in boxing, you get this false sense of security that you can take way more punches than what your brain really can. You know, it's just constant blunt trauma to the head, blunt trauma to the head. And in bare knuckle, you know, you're getting cut up after a couple of those. You know, and those fights end a lot more quickly. You know, very, very rarely are you fighting, you know, the full fights in bare knuckle. So, plus, I mean, bare knuckle was paying, man. They were paying a lot of money to get money top.
Facts.
Yo, so the funny thing is I did me and Jim go back about a few years. He's a much better fighter than he is a basketball player. I'll just put that out there.
Damn, kid, why you calling him out?
Hey, if you ever watch one of this guy's fights, you'll understand why I got to call him out on that and not in the ring. But he also you were a champion in before UFC.
I fought in Kickboxing overseas for about 5 fights over there.
Right.
I was the featherweight champion.
Yo, okay, Jim, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm Gavin. Nice to meet you. I'm curious.
What's up?
I'm always curious. Like, so featherweight in that discipline, is it the same as boxing? Because even like within boxing and Olympics, like the weights are different, which I always find so weird. And even in UFC, you know what I mean? Like the weights are so different. Like, what is actually a featherweight champion weight in that discipline?
Right. So featherweight in mixed martial arts is 145 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. I believe when I was doing bare knuckle, I was considered a welterweight at 155 pounds. So I know that the weight classes are a lot different.
Yeah. I've always been curious. I've always just been curious, like across all those disciplines, when it comes to mixed martial arts and any hand-to-hand combat, why everything is not uniform. But I mean, there must be a reason, and it makes sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So what are you doing? Not to take over the interview. I'm sorry, cuz.
No, do you think?
What are you doing right now? What are you active in right now? And what are you training for? And like, what's your next fight coming up?
Man, I'm getting old. I think I'm done with any of that hand-to-hand combat. You know, I've kind of done a lot, 25 professional fights. So I'm focusing on jiu-jitsu still, you know, and just building up the next chapter. You know, building up these guys who want to make it.
So you're training now, like you're training the next fighters.
Exactly, man. I got a gym, and you know, I have a lot of hungry guys who just want to do what I did and do more than what I did.
Got you. Where's the gym? Let's get a shout out. Where's your gym? Where you located, man? Where's the gym at?
I'm located in South Florida in West Pembroke Pines. It's called Allers Martial Arts.
Cool. All right.
Yo, his wife is doing big things down there too. I seen the post with you and your wife on the podiums, man. Like y'all doing it up down there. I think we might have froze him out.
Yeah, the connection is
real sketchy, but you know what?
Yo,
Big
that was
shout out
great.
to my boy Jim.
That was a great caller, man. I'm glad you brought him in. That was super interesting and dope.
Yeah, man. Like I always
know why he tries to go get punched in his face for a living. Like I don't understand the boxing thing. I don't understand the bare knuckle brawl thing.
The bare knuckle shit is crazy.
Listen to me. This dude.
That's my thing. Like, what would make someone want to go and get punched in their face for a living?
Yo, the weird thing is that when you watch people like we were talking about last week, Kimbo Slice, other people, like when you see that backyard brawling stuff, you think that it's one way. And yo, Jim is probably the nicest dude on the entire planet. Like when I tell you funny and we just kind of chill and talk, like that's my dude. But I watched him in the ring and it was like, yo, this dude is crazy. So
what drove you that route? What makes you decide I'm going to get punched in my face for a living? And what drove you there?
Yeah, listen, it's like any of those hand-to-hand combats like we were just talking about. I think you have it in your head that I'm not going to get punched in the face. I'm going to punch that dude in his face more than I'm going to get punched. And you just want to test your limits.
Get punched in the face. Every fight I've been in, I knew I was going to get punched in the face, and I really didn't want to.
Right.
I think you want to test your limits too, to where like when I was in college and I was studying kung fu, and we would go outside and like spar and things like that. I love that shit. You know, when my Sifu would put hand to hands and shit, when I was doing Wing Chun, I was like, all right. He's like, open up on me. I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna open up.
Right.
So what made you go that way, Jim?
No, I mean, I wrestled in high school. Then I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I kind of just wanted to see if it would really work. You know, like how much would this work? How much would this protect me in a real fight? You know, and I was in college, and these guys are offering me like $500 to fight, and it was a lot of money. You know, so I was like, I've been so many street fights for free.
I may as well get some cash. I
knew that it was a safer environment than fighting in the backyards and videotaping it. Like,
it's controlled. Yeah.
So I didn't. Honestly, I don't. I didn't take a lot of damage throughout my MMA career because of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was able to control the fights really where I wanted. I always had heavy hands. If I hit people, a lot of times they try to take me down, or I was taking them down. So I was able to not take a lot of damage throughout my whole career. And like you said, I would go into the fight hoping that I was doing more of the punching than I was getting punched. So it worked out that way, luckily.
How do you feel, Jim? Let me ask you. I'm very curious. Like when it comes to, because like you said, you have heavy hands. So that transition with having the jiu-jitsu background and some floor work and everything like that, I mean, do you enjoy that more? Do you like it, or are you like, I'd rather just stand up and let's go toe to toe?
I would say that the training was a lot easier just to do boxing because I didn't have to train wrestling
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a lot of other things, and I just had to really focus on one thing. So it became a lot fun. Like I was kind of getting, burnt out with the whole MMA thing, and so
yeah.
that kind of for me, especially that I went into it knocking people out right away. So that definitely made it a lot more fun.
I mean, there's so many more elements when you go to that. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, you're grappling, you're wrestling, you're arm bars, you're trying to choke people out. You know what I mean? There's so many other elements when you're like, if you're just standing up and throwing hands, you're like, okay, this is just, this is what we do. We're just one-on-one. And it's very different. Even though I was at a fight in college, and this dude, he was like a 5-time kickboxing champion, and it was his first boxing match, and he got punched in his shit, and he blacked out and kneed the dude in his face. And, he just lost it. He just reverted back to his training.
Listen, man,
Right.
that squad, it was 3 of them doing MMA like that were around me. They kept trying to get me to come to the gym, and
What
I'm
happened?
like, it's not happening, bro. Like, cause that's not me. Yo, so it was him, my boy L, my boy Angel. They were doing big things, man, and like we all got a chance to be proud when Jim got his contract with UFC. We all lost our mind, man. Like we were all like, "Yo, that's my dog," and we were watching him. But I'm gonna bring this up, Jim, and you can answer. You can choose not to. I don't know if this is off limits, but back before UFC, what y'all don't know, Jim had beef with a very famous UFC star before he was the famous UFC star, and they were supposed to fight, I believe, twice. I believe they were supposed to fight twice, and one was hurt one time, and the other one was injured the next time, and they never did fight. Can we talk about this, Jim?
Yeah. I mean, it comes up a lot, so why not?
I'm guessing it rhymes with Finer McGregor.
You better believe it. It was funny because I did not know that until I think me and you might have had a conversation about it once. But I saw like clips, like I was watching the clips of you fighting, and then like interviews came up where you were talking about him or he was talking about you, and I was like, "What the? Yo, this was a real draw. They was ready to get it in."
Yeah, man. We were supposed to fight for the title, and then he ended up, he got hurt. Fight. He ended up pulling out, and they just threw somebody up there. And I'm like, "Hey, do you still want to fight?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll fight." I beat that guy, and then I ended up winning, and then calling him out after. But we were supposed to fight again, and then a few weeks out from our fight, I ended up getting hurt, and then he went to the UFC. So it just never went through.
Jim,
Right.
I'm curious because Big Cuz over here kind of alluded to it, but did the initial beef start with just kind of like gym wars, like you saw him around talking shit, or you wasn't feeling him, or was it just he was the man on top and you won and you're like, I'm gonna call him out?
Right. I mean, I was never a type of person to really like talk crap. He's been that way from the beginning. The same Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Now he's the same before he was in the UFC. And he just right away as soon as we got a fight scheduled, he just started talking.
Right.
In Ireland, I never even got to meet the guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, listen, man, I know you're busy, bro. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Like, y'all understand, I hit him up, and I was like, hey, listen, man, I just started a podcast. We're talking boxing, we're talking fighting, and BKFC came up. Could you help me out? Could you pop in? And he said he's out of state. He's running around with his wife. God bless you and the family, man. And he took some time out of his day, bro, to come in with us, man. So I appreciate that, Jimbo.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, man. It was great to meet you, man.
Nice to see you guys. All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro. Peace.
Bye.
Super dope. Super dope.
Yo, that was so dope.
Yeah, man.
That
That's
was so dope.
Super dope. All right, Cuddy. We about to get into some other things for the night, man. But I'm gonna come on. I'm gonna give you your props. Put him back on screen for me for a second. I'm gonna give you your props.
Thank you, sir.
You did it again. You did it again. I'll see. What's the next big fight? What's the next big fight I need to be watching out for? No. Not even the next big fight. Who?
I'm trying to think.
Because
honestly,
this
I can't,
right here
I
will
can't
show you a Tuesday night boxing match. You're like, no, this the next guy. It'll be some old off-brand shit. He'd be like, no. You got to watch this guy, or you got to watch this.
Yo, 5 a.m. Tokyo on Wednesday.
Hey, that's where the two midgets fighting in the phone
booth. 7-Eleven. He told you about it last week.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll keep you guys up to date, and anytime you guys want to have me on, I appreciate it, man. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. I have so much fun. You guys are great, man. I love this show.
Yo, man, we appreciate you, bro.
That's my guy. Like, I met this guy the very first night I met this guy. We go out drinking. He crashes his fucking whip. I show up at his job the next day. I was like, what the fuck happened? He was like, I don't know. I think I hit an old lady in a stroller down the front. He was going to Taco Bell, dude. Crashed his fucking whip, man. It
was a Taco Bell run.
Like straight
a Taco Bell run.
I was with this dude every single day because I couldn't let him
every day.
He was a dope
Yo,
ass.
it was crazy. When I met Tommy probably was, I don't even know. I thought he was like 35 already. He looked 35. He was like 18.
That's real. That's real.
I was 19. I was 19 when I met this kid. I was 19.
Tommy looked 35.
You see, all that happened is just got great. It got great, but all this been here, it just got great.
Yeah. That's real. Tommy been old since we was kids. Like
that's my motherfucking brother right there. Like from that day on, I was with him every day. Slept on his couch, ate his damn groceries. You know what I'm saying?
Made the music.
Yeah. Sat there with him making music, dog. Like that's my guy. So we're gonna definitely have you back for the Hip Hop 50 show.
Heck yeah.
Definitely. So you got to
November 18th, right?
Because the crazy thing is, like, nobody will know it because he speaks so American. Now, this is a Scottish dude, though. Like, real life.
And do you speak Scottish? Is that Scottish one?
Sheldon, pal. All right, pal. Sheldon.
That's a Glasgow kid right there. So we're going to definitely have him come on to tell us about his hip-hop influences and all that thing there growing up. But we're going to get to that in November. But I do want to say, hey, good job. You picked this one right. I'll see you next fight, bro.
No doubt. All right, y'all.
Hey, G, appreciate you, man.
Peace, man.
Peace.
Yeah, so that was a good thing, man. Hey, your homeboy, man. Good job of bringing him in, man. That was dope.
Yo, that's my guy. I was good. Like, I messed with him about the basketball thing. Because when we worked together at a facility, like not a behavioral health center.
Okay,
we worked. Yeah, and we had kids, young kids that we were working, teens, adolescents, stuff like that. And we go in the gym to play basketball. And we all, like, me and Jim competed on everything. Because I told him I wasn't coming to the gym. I'm not coming to the gym because they're all smaller than me, right? I'm like, what's not getting ready to happen? And the smallest out of all three of them, and Angel, if you watching, that, you know. Angel probably was like 4'3", bro, like 100 pounds soaking wet. But he was a chokeout artist. Like, we went to one of his fights. They would have the, what is it called? I forgot what the fight nights were, but we go and watch him do his thing. And man, when I tell you, he was amazing, bro. Just fast. And Jim would work the corner for them. The other dude, L, his full name, I think it's L Will. And they named it L Jitsu. Like, they were like, forget jujitsu, we doing L Jitsu. That nigga is nice like that and just built like a wall, bro, just rock. But Jim was like he was like the big brother. And he would, when I tell you the wildest kids, he could sit down and just talk them through it. You would never think that these dudes would go in and beat somebody's brains out, bro. But they would sit down on the floor, do it all, man. So Jim's a real good dude overall. He teaches kids down there in South Florida. I think he said Pembroke Pines. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure I look that up and I'll post that on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we got to put him in here. Got to have him back there when we can get him sitting down instead of driving, so we get a get some better content out of that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely a good look for him to come in, man. That's love right there. And then the fact that we had Gav on at the time that he's on there, because I knew as soon as he came on, I knew Gavin was going to go for
Yeah.
it. He has that's his shit. You know what I'm saying? That's his shit. So I knew he was going to lock in immediately. So man, it was a good thing that you had them on at the same time, and that was dope. That was
man. Well, both of them, like, man, Gav is that guy. We're gonna have a whole lot more of him.
A whole lot. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. So now we're gonna make this transition, man, from me being the loser.
Yeah.
I took my strike. I took my beating like a man.
Yeah.
Now let's go on over to this college football thing.
Listen, man.
Man.
Now, me and you talked about this first game. Let's just go ahead and dive into it. We talked about this first game. We talked about that Colorado USC game. And at the beginning of this game, the way it took off, I was like, you were like, damn it, you're right again. You called me and said, damn it, cuz that's your shit. You right.
You're right.
Yeah.
I called 56-21. I said 56-21.
Yeah.
And they were well on their way to doing that.
Until the second half.
Until that second half. Dude, they were up 21-0.
That's a skunk. That's a Madden skunk. If you
they
give it
21
right
there. Give up the sticks, nigga. Give up the sticks.
Hey, and I told you.
I think 34-14. At the half, it's 34-14. Right. I knew at that point, I was like, oh, I'm great. I did this one.
Mm-hmm. But
Colorado scored USC 27-14 in the second half.
Listen, man, I told you, I called you, and I'm gonna, and I didn't call you after the fact. I told you, I called you and said, Caleb looks like what everybody says Shador is. He looks like a Heisman quarterback. Phenomenal. I can't take nothing away from that young brother, man. Like, that dude did his thing. However, by me saying that, a piece of me was like, Shador is not all everybody's cracking him up to be. Now, granted, I never doubted that he was a great quarterback. I never doubted what he could do or all that other stuff. But it was just like, man, Caleb is showing you what a real Heisman candidate is supposed to look like. Right. But then that second half.
Bro, I'm going to tell you this about both sides. I knew what Caleb was. I knew what Shador was. I didn't think Shador would have the requisite components around him to make it happen.
Right.
Then there's a kid named Omarion Williams.
Where in the world did he come from?
Miller. I apologize. Let me say his name right. Omarion Miller. Out of Louisiana. True freshman out of Louisiana.
First game.
First catches of his career. Comes out and gives you 7 catches for 196 yards.
60 some odd yards of those was in the first 2 catches.
Yes. That boy was getting
ridiculous.
Busy. And Coach Prime said, I don't see this in practice. Which lets us know some kids are just gamers, man. Some kids are just gamers.
I don't know. I looked at that completely different. I don't know that it's the fact that he can pull it out during the game. I feel like in practice, if you're practicing, you do what you can. Everybody who takes the game seriously, whatever the sport is, if they take the game seriously, you're going to have flashes of greatness. Everybody is entitled to a good game. Now, if he can come next week and be on the field with, because what's his name's going to be back next week or week after next?
Well, Trav will be back in like 2 more weeks.
Right.
If Travis comes back right now, I'm not putting him on offense. I don't need you on offense. I don't need you. Mm-mm. As much as you and Shador have this connection, and you're able to go out here and be where he wants you to be. You've got Horn, you've got Williams, and now I see Miller is there. There is no need for me to put Travis out there on both sides of the ball again. I need Travis on defense. He was a good thing to have on offense. I have a guy right now. I don't necessarily need Travis over there, especially with the lacerated liver or whatever it is.
Right.
I don't need you to work this double. I may want you to do this later in the season. But right now, I have a third option that I don't necessarily need Travis out there. And for a true freshman to come out and didn't show it in practice, and maybe it's just because, okay, these guys know what routes we're going to run. They've been on us. Hey, it's me playing against my teammates. I'm not going to do that much. But once I finally show up, I'll give this to you. But this lets Travis rest a little bit more. And I don't think Coach thought it was going to be, he was going to have that capability to rest Travis, because I need you. But now I see a kid that shows up in the big moments. And a lot of it to me was the positionings of these catches. He was making one-handed catches. He was catching balls on the inside.
Off his hip.
Yeah. But spinning to the right side to get upfield, not falling into the defender. And that's what I was seeing a lot coming in early in the game, was they were throwing short passes, which I expected to happen. That was my whole game plan. They need to show up to give Shedeur some time. They were throwing the short passes, and the receivers were going backwards. So Shedeur, at the beginning of the game, I think it was 9 of 9 for like 10 yards or something stupid like that, or 18 yards. Right. So I'm like, okay, if these receivers can break a tackle as opposed to trying to go backwards and make something happen, just get upfield and get me 4-6 yards, we're on schedule. But they kept them off schedule. So that's where that 21-0 came from. And then all of a sudden he started throwing the ball to the other side, to that other kid who hadn't done much. And this kid was making the right play with the ball at the right time. I don't know, and I know a lot of times it can be, I got the ball and I'm scared, so I'm running for my life. I know that can't be the case a lot of times, but whatever it was, this kid showed up and showed that he belonged on this level of college football. And he gave Shedeur the opportunity to go out there and throw for 371 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And I think people are sleeping on that. The fact that Shedeur, even in some of the toughest situations with the fewest options, is still putting up big 2, mid 300-yard games. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's going to be the thing that keeps him, like last week's game with the 156 yards, I think that keeps him out of the Heisman conversation for the game. I think that boots him out of there. However, when you go toe-to-toe with the Heisman Trophy winner, and he goes for 403, I go for 371. He goes for 6 touches, I go for 4 touches. I don't have a line. I don't have receivers that I know.
Right.
We're a whole new team. You've been over there and you're doing it. You got Jerry Rice's son on your side of the ball. And I'm still able to go click for click with you. You throw your pick and you give me an opportunity, and I'm showing you while we're down, I can bring us back. Had they got that onside kick, I think that he would have gone down and scored, and I think they would have been able to win that game. But it takes me back to a whole different thing about the Colorado team, and it's that time management.
Bro, all right, so listen, and I was hoping you were gonna get there. That last series of running the ball, this is what I heard, and I initially was watching the game and going, what are you doing? I was in my room yelling at the screen, nigga, what are you doing? Why are we running the ball? But then, and I don't like this dude, I heard Skip Bayless.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a good point. What he pretty much said was there wasn't really a choice, because they ran the ball 6 times, threw the ball 4.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, they were expecting the passes. And all it takes, and their running back had a pretty decent game, like an okay game.
74 yards that game. So he was doing better than he had done.
And he said, think about it like this. Had he broke one of those runs for 50-something yards, this is a whole different.
Give you 20 yards.
If it's a whole different conversation, which I agree with. But like you said, it's like it was almost like they were playing with the thought process that the onside kick was a given.
Was a guarantee. Yeah.
And that was terrible, because your defense, although your defense did better this game, Colorado, hats off to you. Y'all did a much better job this game defensively. In the second half. Not enough for me to hang my hopes on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't. And so what you did was give a USC team that has shown that they can move the ball.
They will put up points on you.
Right, and you gave it to him with excellent field position with very little time, and then at that point, all they had to do was kneel it out, and it was game over anyway.
Because you ended up having to blow your timeouts on nonsense earlier.
On dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I don't know. I think honestly, I believe that Shador is still in the Heisman conversation, and here's why. Because what he did, like you said, what he did against Caleb in this game to pretty much match him without all the tools that Caleb had. If Caleb has one mediocre game, and Shador stays where he is, you have to lean into him because he doesn't have the tools. You got to lean into Shador.
If this were an MVP race, maybe. He's more valuable to his team than Caleb is, maybe. But this is about the best player in college football right now. And Caleb, not only did he maintained,
right,
but this dude went for 403 yards and 6 touches.
True. But
now here's what bothered me
mm-hmm.
was the fact that Caleb was trying to pretty much just like shut the door on them instead of taking what was given to him. I think he was trying to win the Heisman that day. Because
there were guys with the pick. That's what.
Yeah, there were guys running wide open, and instead of him just getting the ball to him, he's running and scrambling, trying to make a highlight instead of just getting the ball downfield. Because there were guys running wide open majority of the day, and those were the things. When you called me halfway through, I was like, I see too many people running free. My 56 points. I was sticking with it, and once they got there, and I was like, oh well, 34-14. They're going to get me to my 56. And then they get there and it's 48. I was like, oh, okay, they missed an extra point. I won't get my 56, but I'm going to get to 55. I'm going to be close enough. And they did nothing else for the rest of the game because Caleb was attempting to do way too much as opposed to just taking what was there. And I also blame their coaches for keeping the ball in Caleb's hands as if they're trying to get Caleb to win the Heisman today also. Because a running game at that point, knowing that Colorado's defensive line is not that good, a running game ends this game a lot sooner, but you gave them opportunity after opportunity.
Well, that's what happens when you second guess your opponent. Because if I jump out to a 21-0 lead, and if we're going into halftime with that type of cushion and and we haven't been stopped yet. There's nothing y'all have done that's been able to stop me. Then at that point, I'm going to start padding stats. I'm going to start. Give me the ball. Let me try this. Let me try that. We do it all the time. Like if I'm playing a gig somewhere and there's 4 people in the audience, all right, well, tonight's going to be the night that we're going to pull out that song that we didn't quite get in practice, but let's go ahead and try it out. You know what I'm saying? Because now you get to put it on the big stage and see what it really will work out without it being too many consequences for doing it.
But you have to understand who's on the other side of that field.
That's what I'm saying. You underestimated because I don't know whether they think that Colorado's all hype, which, let's be honest, there is a whole lot of hype around Colorado. And Colorado as a whole team, listen to me very carefully, as a whole team is not the greatest team in college football. They have some of the greatest pieces, in my opinion. They got one of the best quarterbacks. They got 2 of the best defensive backs in the game. But outside of that, you've got a couple of middle-of-the-road receivers. You've got a trash offensive line, and you've got a severely suspect deficient defense. So, really and truly,
linebackers, and safety. Silo being out hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got Woods out there, 43 for those who are looking in your programs. Number 43, Wood. He's not good. And with Charlo being gone, he had to make a whole lot of plays that he's not equipped to make. He's way too slow. He has a couple of picks on the year, but that's because people are throwing away from that other safety. And Travis is out there. However, Coach Prime called out a kid last week, Cormani McClain. Mm-hmm. Coach Prime says he doesn't show up to meetings. He doesn't practice well. He doesn't study. I think Coach Prime was getting in this kid's head, letting him know you're going to have to play because Travis is out. It's up to you now. You're going to have to play. And I think he was throwing down a gauntlet on this kid. Like, hey, you're gonna have to do something. Hey, I have not played you because you're not good enough. Prove me wrong.
Right.
And this kid came out there this week and played a ball game. When I saw Jerry Rice's kid leave and go to the other side of the field, because there's nothing I can really do with this guy. And Cormani still needs to get in the weight room, still has to get bigger, still has to get stronger. He's super fast. He's pretty smart. He still needs to get in his playbook. But he made a lot of plays this week that's going to build his confidence moving forward. And I was talking to Cleve, cousin Cleve, early. He was like, there may be something about him not feeling like I'm smart enough, so I don't want to go into these meetings on time. I don't want to be the guy on the board. So he was like, he's been in colleges, so he was like, I've seen it happen. I understand what this is about. And at times you don't want to be the one called on because you don't know how to articulate what you're seeing. But when you get out there on that field, you know exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'm hoping that's not the case with Cormani, because I'm pretty sure Coach Prime will make some sort of arrangement he's comfortable with. Yeah. You make some sort of concessions on certain things, and you wouldn't even bring him in there if he couldn't do that. But I just saw a kid this week that wanted to prove himself not only to the nation but to coach. I got to prove to coach that I'm that guy. And once we're able to see him on one side, Travis on another side, Charlo out there at safety, and give me one more safety. Wait till next year when they're, hey, buddy, are you safe over there?
Oh,
are you okay? Are you okay? Don't put it out. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Is there a problem? We have no problems. No, it's the police outside. No, go ahead.
But next year, when we're able to see Cormani and Travis, Charlo still have one more year of eligibility some kind of way, and another safety out there that's not 43 Woods. When we're able to see that solidify that back end of that defense, and Coach Prime already told you we're like 8 players away from being 8 dogs away from being there.
Right.
So he solidifies the offensive line, get some linebackers out there that don't have to come up and play the edges. You got a defensive end that can actually handle that particular role. Get an offensive line in front of Shador. Still have a decent running game and receivers, and that tight end was going crazy.
Yeah.
That they are going to be somebody to deal with in college football in the next few years.
The problem is, though, you got to remember, if I've got 4 good defensive backs, right? I got 2 safeties and a couple of dog linebackers, right? That's only going to shut down your pass game and your short pass game. Because I can still, if I can tear off, and I was told this a long time ago, if you're a running back and you can average 4 yards a carry, well, guess what? First down all day, all the way down. So if you don't have a defensive line, forget. You got to have we got to get some people up front that's going to stop a run somewhere.
Exactly.
We don't got no weight.
You know what that helps me go to?
What's that?
The University of Florida.
God dog it.
Yeah, you knew we were headed here. You knew we were headed here.
Yeah.
You knew we were headed here. Speaking of running backs, University of Kentucky. Ramon Davis, 280 rushing yards against
which is dumb. Which means that 3 of my defensive linemen went and sat on the curb and just watched that nigga walk through the line, bro. Like, come on, man. Like,
bruh. That was embarrassing. Your quarterback went for 244 yards. Their running back went for 280 yards.
Now
they ran the ball straight down those Gators' throats all game long. I got text messages and calls from the homies like, "Is he going for 3 bills?" Yep.
You ain't get no text message call from me, nigga. That's for sure. Not on that game, you didn't.
When you called me, I was like, "Are you watching the game?" You was like, "Ooh, nope." Oh, they just went to commercial break. I think you were lying. I don't think it was a commercial break. I think that nigga was running the ball.
Nigga, I flipped over there, and I was like, you checked in on your Gators, and I flipped over there. I was like, man, it's a nigga laying on the ground now hurt, and then they went to commercial. I'm like, That's a bad omen. Let me just go ahead and turn back. I didn't even watch that bad.
They were trying to slow down that running game. We will fake an injury because that nigga. We don't want to play against him anymore. That nigga was doing them so bad. 329 yards rushing for UK.
But
guess how many total yards the Gators had? Passing and rushing. 313. Bruh, they went hamburgers and french fries on your boys, man. And it's about time that somebody addresses your coaching situation over there. You beat Tennessee, and everybody was like, oh, he's ready. He's ready.
Florida doesn't have a coaching situation. I'm going to tell you what Florida's coaching situation is. And this is historic. Historically, we love you until we don't love you no more. Now get out. And you don't even have to necessarily do anything to us to not love you. But now, for some god-awful reason, why are we still... Bruh.
You have to win. That's the thing. You have to win for them to love you.
It's crazy to me. Like, Florida is not a loyalty town. It's not. Gainesville is not a loyalty program.
Let me tell you who they were loyal to. They were loyal to Galen
Spurrier.
The coach before Spurrier. They were loyal to him until he got caught up in a scandal and then got put on probation.
Yeah.
Then you bring in Spurrier. They were loyal to him because he was winning.
Right.
And then they were loyal to Urban because he was winning.
Right.
Guess who wasn't loyal to them? Urban didn't want
Urban
to after Tim Tebow.
Right.
He understood what was happening. He allowed kids to shoot up the club. He allowed kids to steal. He allowed kids to do whatever they wanted to do because they were winning.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, we got problems.
That's
how to go.
But that's when it comes back to your coaches have to be more, and your program as a whole has to be more focused on the well-being of the kids than on the winning. Now, here's why that's hard for me to say. Because there would be no program for these kids if you don't start winning something and getting butts and seats and making this money. I understand that. But once you have established yourself as a destination, so Florida could suck for the next 3-4 years, there's still a good destination for recruits.
Yes,
it's a badge of honor to, and I'm gonna say this, to be able to play for FSU, Miami, or University of Florida. Those three schools in Florida, it's a great thing. It's Florida.
Big three. But here's the thing: when you mention having to care for the kids,
yeah.
Willie Taggart tried to care for the kids. When Willie Taggart came to Florida State, they were about to be put on probation because they weren't graduating players. Jimbo Fisher did not give a damn about graduating players. He didn't care about grade point averages. He cared about wins. And on his way out the door, we were a semester away from being hit with some sanctions.
Yep.
Willie Taggart comes in. He doesn't win games, but he gets the GPA on track so that we avoid being in trouble.
Right.
Willie Taggart's first 18 games, he went 9-9. They fired that guy that year because the standard is the standard. We don't care about these boys going to class. We care about the wins.
Right.
Guess what Billy Napier's record is after 18 games? He is also 9-9. Let's see what you Gators decide to do with your coach. Let's see what happens with your coach.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is why I like the old school coaches. I like Prime, and not just because it's obvious and clear that our priority is to be great, and that's all encompassing. To be great men, to be great ball players, to be great all around, great individuals, great people. If you have a team full of phenomenal athletes with terrible personalities or terrible attitudes, I can't put my money on you. I can't bet on you. Which is that goes back to my Urban Meyers.
Right. Urban Meyer did not care about the people. He cared about the win.
Right.
When you got the Hernandez guy out there, you got the Pouncey brothers out there, all these guys out there. No, they just had the little special on Netflix, and the guys out there telling you, like, there were so many things that they didn't tell you, but they did tell you about one guy getting in trouble and he's at Urban's house and all this stuff. Like, these guys were criminals.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did not
Straight
know we
thugs.
were sweeping all under the rug for wins.
Which is why, as of right now, out of all of those people that were in that special, how many of them are still in the league? Right. I don't think the Pouncey brothers are gone, but they had a decent.
Yeah, they had a decent run, but I
Right.
don't think they're in the league anymore. I don't
Right.
think the linebackers in the league anymore.
Tebow was not in there.
just
What's his name was fucking dudes and ended up killing himself in jail.
Lord
Hernandez.
have mercy,
I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? My bad.
No, you did. I got to tap out for a quick second. I need to go check something in here.
Yep.
Tap me out for a quick second. Put on some
Yep.
music. We're going to come back and talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. But tap me out for a quick sec.
All right. We back.
Things got handled. Appreciate it for sure.
All right, so we were talking about the coaching and the importance of players being cared for more, not just about their talent on the field, but also about who they are as people. And that's how you end up with the Hernandezes and some of the other ones. Like, I don't want to just harp on that man, but you know, we've had you know, guns in lockers, people shooting themselves. You know.
But there was a team full of thugs over there. You know,
They
y'all
were.
had a team full of thugs, and that's how you win. Like, you look at some of the greatest football teams in history. Majority of the players were thugs. Majority of the guys were gangsters. There was a whole lot of thugs down there in Miami. There was a whole lot of thugs at Florida State. If you look at the Nebraska teams, you look at the Georgia teams from the last couple of years, they're getting cats locked up left and right. So that's something that's, I think, is a little bit embedded in college football. And if prime time doesn't start going to the projects and picking up a couple of these gangsters and putting them on these offensive and defensive lines, I don't think he's going to be able to make it. But I'm pretty sure he's getting some gangsters over there with him right now. So we're going to be good with that. But also, you think the Dallas Cowboys got some gangsters now? I know you don't want to talk about them, but we're going to have to. We got to. You remember when they had the White House and they was winning Super Bowls? when they was out there running holes and snorting coke every day? You think they're doing some of that right now? Because those boys look like they might be all right. They might be all right.
This is different, sir, and I'm gonna tell you why it's different with the Cowboys. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It is obvious that once you're an adult and they give you that check, which sidebar, I'm very interested to see how these NIL deals are going to affect these college boys, because when you can make some bread,
Mm-hmm.
and still be in college, like we talked about getting a contract to the league, and all of a sudden overnight you're a multi-millionaire. We're talking more millions than you ever thought that you were going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got that kind of potential, maybe not to that degree, but I've got that kind of potential in college.
Coming out of high school.
That's a hope. Imagine, do you remember yourself in high school?
Yeah.
As do I. I remember me too. Hold on. I remember me too. Now imagine me at 17 when I graduated.
Uh-huh.
Barely graduated, by the way.
Uh-huh.
And them handed me $5 million.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have played it. No, I'm done. I'm good. Because that $5 million to me, with some of the stuff that was going on in my life at that time, with $5 million, you wouldn't have been able to tell me I would have been able to turn that $5 million into 50.
Bro, I went to college. I left high school, went to college in West Virginia. I went there to play football and to run track.
Right.
I sold dope.
But you got to remember, you told me, and I remember this. I was like, so you not playing no more? You not doing? You was like, it's called a student athlete. I can't be a student and an athlete. I got to pick one. That's what you told. I remember that so vividly, bro. Like, you don't understand.
There is a discipline that comes along with that I did not have.
Right.
I was in West Virginia, on top of a mountain, broke. Yeah. I didn't want to call my mama for money. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find somebody up here with some dope. I'm gonna tell these people I got it from Florida. Put my Florida spin on it. I'm gonna talk to these Bamas, and I'm finna flip dope up here. Now, all of my homies that I was in class with, I'm like, my job, I said, was to get everybody on campus high. That's what I decided to do when I got there. I would call home, ask my mom for $20. She sent me my $20. I found a guy who has some stuff. Hey, let me get this on consignment. I'm gonna break this down. And now I bring something new to the area because I'm a Florida boy out here. Like, it was a couple of Florida boys up there already, but they didn't have the same hustle I had. So instead of selling like everybody else, I'm bringing these little apple sacks to the game. I'm gonna bring everything in a little differently. So I got my red and my black apple sacks. I'm gonna say this one is one thing, this is another. I'm gonna say this was for 20, this was for 25. These are the exact same thing in both of these bags, but it's the hustle of it all. So you know what I'm saying? I learned at that particular time, like, hey man, you have a way with words.
Right. Fast forward, here we are. Two former dope boys.
My radio career up there at Concord College on the college radio station. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just one of those things where being able to talk, you were able to tell these people what they wanted to hear and what they needed to hear, so that now you become the guy. I'm getting stuff from my Colombian buddy. I can't even call his name, but I'm getting stuff from a guy, you know what I'm saying, from Virginia. But when they come to me, nah, this came from Florida. Why am I paying more for this? They got a plane ticket on the baby. I had to get this all the way from Florida.
Say that.
Bro.
Hey, look, man.
You talk a little faster. You talk a little slicker. So it's one of those things, and that's what you end up seeing when you go to these colleges with these football players. Yep. It's, hey, man, I gotta be a little slicker. If I can't do this, I got to do this. And they have a lot of things that I didn't have. They have these training rooms and all that stuff there. We had a weight room. We had some folks out there, and they have advantages that we didn't have, and they still saw that we're the big men on campus.
Right.
So we can steal, we can sell the drugs, we can do whatever we want to do, and we're still the big man on campus, and we're still going to be able to play because our coach does not care at all about any of the outside stuff that goes on.
And what just happened? You took those same type of kids, and then you push them on out of school, put them into a league where they're going to make 10 times as much money as they're making now, and then you're going to expose them to where you were the number one player at your school or maybe in the nation. You could be the number one player in the nation. You came into the league as the 80th.
You got to start over at every level. At every level, you're starting over. Every level, you're starting over. But then when you decide that if you pick me early enough, I'm making more money than a lot of these guys around here and my coach, I may have a little bit of power. And I don't know how I'm going to deal with that at that particular age. And
but you don't understand.
That's what brought up a lot of these guys is you're at an age now and I'm making this much money and I got a little bit of power, especially where I am. I'm not too sure if I'm going to listen to anybody.
True. And that's what you end up with is you got the power on your team, maybe even in your city, but federally they don't care. They don't care. And you got to remember that. Ask Michael Vick if they care. They don't. You talk about a dude who was on top of the world, and he at his height, they got him on fighting dogs. Right. So imagine what they're gonna do to your black ass.
And that's another thing that I do not understand, and I have never understand how you let the money go to prison, man. We're not stopping the money. If I got to do 5 so that the money stay out, I'm gonna take this 5, call them and let them, hey, bro, make sure my people straight. I'm gonna go sit down. When I come home, I need to be good. But we're not gonna let the money stop.
Tom, let me explain something to you. Real friends, like you were fortunate enough and I was fortunate enough to go through our formative years with people who were real people who really cared about what happened to us. Right. And I have to thank God for Breezy D and for Bizzolini Capone. Because honestly, I know right now I don't have a lengthy criminal record. Mm-hmm. Both of them do. And well, one does and one did. And I know for a fact a couple of them charges were supposed to be mine. Right. You understand what I'm saying? But these dudes, because of my parents and their respect for my parents or fear, whichever one it was, they, you know what I'm saying?
They're getting in certain trouble.
Right. They sent me home and took charges. You know what I'm saying? They sent me home, and my whole job was to go see your mom or your mom, make sure we got your car out of impound. You know what I mean? The usual. And I thank God every day for them dudes because they had already started down a path, and I was the youngster in the group. Like I was the youngest out of all three of us. And they were set on making sure that I don't end up with these headaches that they have to deal with. And so now, and still to this day, God rest his soul, Bizzolini Capone's going on, man. He's been going for 10 years now. And I'm 42. I met D and Biz when I was 16.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So these been that was it. I don't have a big circle. I got people I know, I have people I'm cool with, but if something goes wrong, I can pick up the phone.
Right.
What's missing in society today, and I know we're talking about football, but this is applicable.
Because I'm like, screw the Cowboys. I don't even care about the Cowboys and the Dolphins. I don't even care, man. We having a right now.
The problem is, the issue is that not enough of us value quality over quantity. We got to a point where now to have the largest crew, the biggest clique, that's what it is. And if we've learned nothing from Tekashi 6ix9ine, it's that just because you got a large crew don't mean that you ain't got rats sitting right next to you.
I was about to say, why you think this home? What's your boy Thug sitting in jail right now?
Right.
With his large crew homies?
Yep.
So that's one of the things. But here, back to Gavin, who was just on tonight. Mm-hmm. All right. Quick story time. Gavin got me a job at PBS. So I was working master control at PBS Gavin got me there. One night, he was like, man, we were talking about movies, and he was like, you seen The Godfather? I was like, nah. He was like, yo, you got to come to the crib. We're going to watch The Godfather. We're going to smoke out. We're going to watch The Godfather. I was like, all right, word. Get to his crib. I was like, yo, I'm out of bud. He was like, yo, go over here, see Black, pick up the bud, whatever. I was like, yo, he gave me his car. So driving his car over there, his tag bag, he had the car that he had crashed. He got a dent in the front of his car, tag bag. So I'm going over there. I go to Black, pick up a sack. Got that junk tucked in. I'm on my way back, driving through Florida State's campus. I get pulled over by campus police. I got a sack tucked in. So I'm like, but it's okay. He was like, hey, the tag's bad back there. Oh, sorry, my buddy, blah, 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 blah. He was like, all right, just give me your license. Run my license. It's about 12:45. Buddy was like, your license suspended. I was like, I didn't know. He was like, yeah, I know you didn't know. It got suspended at midnight tonight. Like, if you can call somebody to come and get you, I'll let you go. He was like, you just got to come and get the car. All right, cool. I called one of my other guys because I left Gavin drunk and another one of the homies over there drunk out of their minds at the crib. So I'm like, let me call my homeboy. I called back door. Back door was like, I'm on my way. Cool. I waited there about 45 minutes. Mind you, I got a sack on me. 45 minutes, called, can't do it. Dang. So I finally called Gav. I was like, yo, I'm over here with your whip. I was like, I got pulled over because your tag bag. He was like, oh man, I got you. I was like, he was like, we on the way. Now this is two white dudes, plumb drunk. They pull up to the scene, hop out the car. Yeah, what up, dog? I'm talking about completely out of it. Gav shows up, talks to the car. He was like, hey, this your car? He was like, yeah. He was like, oh man, my tag bag. He was like, I ain't know about it. Talks it out with the cop. The cop was like, well, I can't let him drive because his license is bad. He allows this drunk white guy to drive his car home. The drunk driver of the other car that came to bring Gavin lets them both drive home. Bruh, having homeboys with some privilege, hey. Always, but the thing of it is, like, there was no way that Gav was going to be like, nah, I'm drunk. I can't come get you. Nah.
Right.
I called back door. Back door was like, I'm coming. Let me sit out there 45 minutes. Like, had they bought a dog out or something like that, man, I'd have been on my ass. I called my guy, called my buddy, my homie, my motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, fuck it, we're going to take this risk. Let's see what happens. Now, all of us could have gone to jail that night because you drive around drunk, you intoxicated the public, and you got a sack on you. But having that group of people around you that you know that love you like they love you, bro, like, man, ain't like it, man. Ain't nothing like it.
Look, they all could have went to jail, but what wasn't getting ready to happen, they wasn't going to let you go to jail by yourself. That's
the thing. I'm talking when I called him and I'm talking about, he was like, I gotta go get Rude. He go upstairs to get home, and we knew Rude was drunk early that day.
Right.
Before I even got there. And I didn't get off work till midnight. So I'm getting over there 12:15, 12:30, dog. I'm on my way back from the spot with this. Bruh, it was crazy times, but you know you got motherfuckers that love you, dog. Like, those the people that you fuck with. And there's a lot of football players that find this on their teams, and there's a lot of teams that just don't give a damn. And that's big. That's a bigger issue, is that sometimes they just don't give a damn.
Look, man, when I worked with the homeless for a long time, every story started out like I worked with it, but it was all around mental health. It was all down in the same lane. But I worked with the homeless, and I had to have a conversation, man. I was what they call a peer support specialist. Mm-hmm. My job, our entire company, their only job was to go out in the woods, find people who were living on the streets, get them off the streets and get them housing. They operated on a housing first model. That means no matter what your problems are, you could be addicted to heroin, you could be a prostitute, you could be any of that stuff. The first step is get you in a house. Right. And then we'll deal with all the rest of that stuff. That was it. So what would happen is once they got into their apartment, it was my job to come in and kind of work with them and kind of reintegrate them into society. Because if you can imagine, if you've been sleeping in the woods, and I'm not talking about like I've been homeless for a couple months. I mean, it's people who've been in the woods for 10, 12 years. Like, I'm like, yo, what in the world? these niggas, and we get them off the street, and I be there with them. And part of my problem was that part of me was still street.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I was married. I had kids at the time. About it, man. We would go, and I would see these people in the community of homeless people. And I say that word community because that's exactly what it is. If you lived in the woods and you had your little camp, it was like you and maybe like 5 or 6 other, it'd be couples or individuals or whatever, but that was y'all city. And what could not happen, you can't be homeless from up the block and come down here and come in our city and mess with our stuff.
No outside.
These people, if you drive down the road and you see somebody at the corner at a stoplight and they can't holding a sign asking for money or whatever, and you notice it's like 4 or 5 other dudes tucked off behind it, they're taking turns. They're like, all right, I got these next 5 cycles of this light, and then it's your turn. You got 5 cycles of this light. And they would do this, and it was everybody had it down and nobody crossed that line. So if I ain't got nothing except for the people who are around me, you will do whatever you can to help those people. Even though it don't make sense to me, it don't make sense to you. When you break it down like that, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Because now, but then that leads into problems. And this is the other side of that coin. Part of that problem is that I've been out in the woods doing drugs with you for the past 15 years. Now I'm off the street and I got my own apartment that I ain't got to pay for. And now I got a whole bunch of people like Tech telling me I got to leave you there. I can't have you come to, we done slept in the mud together. We done been robbed together.
If I want to take you with me, I can't. And if you can't take me with you, why not?
Exactly. So I'll tell you a quick story. I remember I would do groups, right? And when I decided, I was like, hey, listen, we done got these people in apartments. And instead of me trying to make them get on a bus and come all the way down to the office, I'm going to go to them. We'll take a volunteer who's going to open their living room to us today, and we'll bring everybody in there. And we'll do groups. And we did groups like how to interact with your landlord, how to do this, how to do that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Basic living skills groups. I pull up to the apartment complex, right? We got probably 10, 12 people housed in this apartment complex, small complex. And I just hear a whole bunch of selling out down the walkway. Oh, nigga. Hey, look, I'm unloading the car. I got sodas and I got cakes. That's where I'm going in this apartment over here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting ready there, and here comes one of my clients. Hey, hey, Tech, man, I need some help. I'm like, all right, I'll come down there. I go down there, and it's probably 4 or 5 drug dealers in the living room in this dude's apartment. One of my clients. I'm in a button-down, long-sleeve shirt. I got a little lanyard badge thing with the retractable, you know what I'm saying,
right.
picture on it. Nigga, I'm in khakis and some loafers. I walked down there. I said, hey, guys, how's it going? I got real proper. Hey, guys, how's it going? He's like, yo, it ain't got nothing to do with you, man. All right, oh, listen, what's going on? My client owed that guy some money for some product. So I was like, hey, listen, guys, we don't need that dude. While in mid-sentence, that dude got in my face and said, yo, back the fuck. I said, hey, hold on, bro. And that's what I was like,
now you ain't in your khaki no more.
Right. I'm like, yo, don't let this badge fool you, homie. This is not a police badge. This is a ID. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm ready to go. I'm like, so we can do whatever you want. Like, you can leave, or I can make you leave, homie. While I'm talking, my client is behind me going, yeah, you better get out of here. Da-da-da. I said, and you shut up. Because hey, I'm not trying to mess up your money. Right. You owe that man money. That's between you and him. What I'm saying is you can't do it here because now you mess up my money. Now I can't help nobody else get in this apartment because y'all causing problems.
Exactly.
That guy, my client, he's I'm not gonna say where he is right now, but I see him from time to time still. The problem is that he never had a connection to anything of substance that he could say, you know what, I will protect this at all costs.
Right.
So what he did was he begged, borrowed, and stole, and then played the victim. And we run into that a whole lot here. I've watched niggas on TV who were given contracts for millions and millions of dollars, play the victim on TV over stuff that they are not victims of.
Right.
I fully understand that we deal with racism. I fully understand that we deal with discrimination. I'm one of them dudes who going, how in the world did Michael Vick get put in prison and have to go through all this stuff over that when these white boys over here, Brett Favre is taking millions of dollars from charity, you know what I'm saying? But ain't even seen a charge. But that's neither here nor there. But that right there is not the same as they didn't let me do what I wanted to do.
Right.
That's stupid. And when the more people who are dumb make it harder for people who are coming behind them trying to do the right thing. And that starts with these niggas who are supposed to be mentors. Where big homies went? Where did your uncle go? Where did all these people go that we now got a generation of dudes that look like me but can't they not built like me?
We don't respect the big homie no more. Like I had my big homies that looked out for me, and Gab was one of them. Introduced me to the homie Heck, introduced me to his roommate Lucius. I came back from West Virginia, man. I linked up with Backdoor, linked up with Dangon Fort, linked up with D Block, linked up with Tone, linked up with like a plethora of homies that's my dude to this day. Low, Dangon Rollo. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like these are my big brothers. Like I was always the youngest in the camp, and it was one of those things where when I tried to go out with my homeboys, they were like, nah, man, come to the crib. So we end up at Fort Crib. We get drunk, and I'm like, well, we don't need to go anywhere. My homie like, I'm good and drunk now. Hey, man, we got music over here. We'll call some chicks over here. We got alcohol over here. What's in the club? Music, chicks, alcohol.
Right.
What the fuck they used to go on over there if we got it all right here at the spot? So they made it to where I didn't want to go out and be in a group of strangers. I'm around my family. We over here and we gonna kick it, and we gonna end the night the exact same way as it would have over here outside of getting in a fight, going to jail. And then I get down with the homie Moon Dog. Like they
Rest in
made
peace, Moon.
Rest in peace to the homie Moon Dog. But they made sure that I didn't get into a lot of stuff my other homeboys were getting into. I would bring my homies around, and my homies like, oh, we gonna go out. All right, well, y'all go ahead and go out, man. I'm gonna call this chick over here. She gonna come over here and hang out with us. And everybody got their little ladies or whatever. So it was like we did what we did. And we were safe. And then I'm getting calls like, oh, you know, such and such got locked up. You know, such and such got shot last night. You know, such. So it's one of those things where having that camp of dudes around me grew me up to a point where I didn't need to go out there and get involved in some of the things that I would have been. And I definitely would have been involved in a whole heap of nonsense had it not been for the older guys around me. Like the homie Fort, man, Fort would leave home if it was a game on with Miami Heat or dang on the Dolphins. He would take his TV from his house to work, but he would leave me his key. And you got a chick come, hey, here you go, bro. Handle business. Just make sure you don't da-da-da-da-da. All right, cool. So I had safe spaces. You know what I'm saying? I had people around me who loved me.
But dude, they stepped up and made you like there wasn't a
the
question.
Big homies. They were the big homies to make sure,
Right.
hey, young nigga, that ain't how you do this. Having a chick around and you're gonna talk a certain way. Nah, man, don't say that. Don't say that. Hey, put that phone down. Put that phone down. Hey, don't call her right now. You too drunk. Don't say this to her. So the big homies actually, and I actually listen. Now when you get the kids around, you can tell them certain things, and they gonna say all the right stuff to you in your face. But then when they leave your presence, they gonna go out here and do the stupidest shit in the fucking world.
But you know what? That's on us. That's on us. When's the last time you talked to your little homie? Like, and I thought about this. Remember, I keep saying I don't have a whole bunch of a large crew.
Yeah.
I don't. And then I realized I don't got no little homies. Like I got a couple here and there, you know what I'm saying? But who do I have around me on a regular basis?
Right.
That's on that level that I've taken to mentoring. Not many. Not many at all.
I've had some. Dude, I called my little brother. Came to my crib, was about to go out with his homeboys. I pulled the same thing that we used to do. Hey, man, you don't need to leave here, man. We can call some chicks over here. I got these bottles over here. I got some weed over here. We got this, that, and the third. And he was like, oh, man, nah. And then this nigga shows a pistol. I'm like, bro, don't leave here with that pistol. What? For what? For what? he ends up leaving with his homeboy because he just did not want to listen to that particular. He didn't want to listen that night, so he left. One of my other homeboys, Dirt, outside the club, when they see him, like, hey, I was like, hey, man, if you see him out there, man, make sure that dude ain't got his pistol on. He was like, all right, I'm going to check him. When he sees him, he tells him, like, nah, man, we straight. I'm out here with my guys, dog. They go inside the club, get kicked out, and as he's leaving out the club, beefing with some other niggas, the pistol falls out. Now he got a case. And this is, but this is me, like, you were here with me. I told you better. I can't make you do better, but I told you better. I got another stopgap for you on the back end of this, and you still don't want to listen because you don't respect the hierarchy that we had to respect when we were coming.
True.
Coming up, we didn't listen. Like, they couldn't make me stay, but I would be like, you know what? These niggas done been through some shit. Maybe I don't need to do that. I tell my little cousins, like, all the time, like, man, all the shit y'all going through right now, like, man, I done been through all that shit. So if you really want to go through it, go ahead, but you don't have to. I can tell you about it because my people always told me, giving sense is better than bought sense. Some of these experiences you have to deal with. Some of these experiences you do not have to go through. I can tell you about it and tell you exactly how it's going to end for you, but some things y'all just want to go by. I can give this to you. I can give you this game. Right. You can avoid a whole lot of the pitfalls, and some of them listen, some of them don't.
Bro, I just know that I feel somewhat responsible at times, and the reason I feel somewhat responsible because dealing with the juvenile justice system, I lived in the hood. If you from Central Florida, you know I lived at Texas Ave and Americana. Ask about it. You know what I'm saying? It was a gas station right there. Everybody hung out at the gas station. I would go to this gas station all the time, and I see all these jits standing out front. I said, hey, listen, I heard they about to come through here and do a sweep on Wednesday. It's Monday. They about to come through here and do a sweep on Wednesday, man. Y'all might want to stay in the house. I didn't say stop selling drugs. I didn't say don't do this, don't do. All I said was on Wednesday, take your behind in the house. Just don't be out here on Wednesday. You got 6 other days to do whatever you want to do. Don't be out here on Wednesday. Tuesday come, I see some of the same day. Hey, remember, man, tomorrow, man, like I heard they're going to do the sweep through here. Cool. Wednesday come, I go to work, and like clockwork, they just coming in. Thursday morning, I get there, and I'm just looking at all the same. I'm talking about niggas I just seen outside. Was like, I remember I told y'all. I said, what are you doing here? Man, these crackers, man, they tried me, bro. They just picked.
That's got nothing to do with them.
They ain't got nothing to do with that. I told you knew it was coming.
They make whole rap songs. Tuesday, Thursday, you got to watch for the sweep.
Yes,
bro.
No. We made rap songs like that. Their rap songs right now is just about something else. Percocet. Like what? Come on, man.
They are on schedule. They
Tuesday and Thursday better watch for the street.
They truly want you out there damaging your community. They just have to show. They just have to give a show of effort. So they tell you when we're coming, and y'all still dumb enough to be out there when they tell you they coming because they hating niggas.
They ain't got nothing to do with hate. It is what it is, man. But here's like I said, we have gone from youngsters, and we've gone. I feel like we're going backwards. We've gone from youngsters who didn't want to. I didn't want to listen, but my big homies was like, yo. Granted, my big homies were only a year or two older than me,
right?
But in experiences and in this street shit, they were much older than me. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't want to let them know that. And right now, if Breeze is watching, he gonna be like, I told that nigga I was a, you know what I'm saying? But really and truly, they had the game on lock. I just jumped in, you know what I'm saying? But now, out of the 3 of us, my pops always let us know you're gonna end up dead or in jail. Well, out of the 3 of us, one's dead and one has been to jail a million times. Right. So I got to see in front of me exactly what they were talking about, what my peoples was talking about could happen. Here are your 2 options. Which one are you gonna choose? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, cool. Now, man, if I ain't paid to be there, I ain't coming. Like real talk. Like if hey, you want to go to the club? No, not really. No, I don't. Actually, absolutely not. I want to be at the house. When I hit up Breeze and be like, yo, let's link up. By link up, I mean we go post up in front of his house, and we just stand out there and talk. That's it. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody else. We ain't got nothing to prove, and that's where growth and maturity comes in. I feel, and so if I'm growing and I'm maturing, because I've had all these life experiences and I've had these people who are able to sow into my life. Who's doing that for the dude coming straight out of college, going to the NFL and making $50 million next year?
And that's the problem with the NFL and the NBA right now is you don't have the veterans are no longer there.
Right.
They cut the veterans for these younger guys because they can get them cheaper, but you don't have anybody that's going to teach these young men the ropes.
Right.
And we were looking at, I was watching No Chill Gill, and he was talking about the Ja Morant situation.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it took Allen Iverson's bodyguard to teach him. And I think Simba was on that episode, the rapper Simba.
The rapper Simba, yeah.
He was on that episode, and Simba was like, man, you taught me something. Because he was like, the bodyguard was like, 1 o'clock, we're leaving. He was like, club don't close till 2 o'clock. He was like, why are you here when the lights come on? You're a star. Why are you here when the lights come on? Why is everybody watching you drink? And Simba was like, wow. He was like, man, if you ain't got nothing before 1 o'clock, like, that's on you. You get drunk at the house, come to the club, you drinking water all night, but nobody needs to see you, the drunk athlete, the drunk superstar, out in public. Like, right. You got a brand that you need to protect. And these are certain things that we should have been teaching our younger kids coming up anyway. Like, especially if you out here doing what we did, all right, you got to move a certain way. Being on the block with it, being places with it, like there's certain things that we needed to teach them. And I still, to this day, hey, ain't no need for you to be riding around with no refill if you don't have a medical card. There's no reason for you to be riding around with no pistol. Your pistol does not need to be on social media. Nobody should know you have a pistol unless you have to use it. Like, these are the things that I've been trying to tell my youngins, and I think they've gotten a little bit better because I haven't seen it as I used to. I used to see them. You know our people used to see them boys on there, and it's all kinds of everybody, and everybody got a heater. Like, bruh, like,
listen, man. If they know you got it. If they know you got it, there's going to be a problem. Like, so I joke around. Let's go ahead and make this clear. I joke around. I'll pull my gun and be like, ha. I am in my own office for my own personal business inside. I walk down the street every day and nobody knows that if I got it on me or not. I almost 99.9% of the time I have it on me. Yes. And the people don't need to know. You know why? Let me give y'all a little hint. The reason people don't need to know, because if they know you got it, now they've got something that they can hold over you. Right. For instance, how many times have you been in a situation where it was you got into a heated argument with somebody, and then all of a sudden they said that you said this, said that, and you like, they're making that up. How in the world did that? Now imagine that same argument and the police show up and they're like, and he pulled the gun out. No, I didn't. Do you have a gun on you, sir? Yeah, but I didn't pull it out. How does she know you got a gun on you? How does he know you got a gun on you? Why do they know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, just be smart. It doesn't make sense. And then you sitting in the courtroom somewhere talking about, but Your Honor, I didn't. Now it's your word versus his. Now let's look at your track record. Let me pull up your Instagram. Oh, there's a gun, there's a gun, there's a gun, there's a gun, there's a gun. Of course you're supposed to gun up.
Let me look at your black face. Yeah, you're good.
Right. And so you don't have a choice. You don't think that stuff through, and you don't think ahead to understand what the ramifications could be. And that drives me freaking nuts. And you got to remember, I got 3 of them at the house. You know what I'm saying? I got teenagers at the crib. And we're going to talk about that on another show. But
yeah, we're going to definitely have that conversation right there.
I got teenagers at the crib, and 2 of them teenagers are young black men. And I don't care what anybody says. There are just certain privileges that are afforded to others that are not afforded to young black men.
Exactly.
And you can't move a certain way, can't do a certain thing, and still expect to get the same results as everybody else. Should you get the same results as everybody else? Yes.
Right. And a lot of the problem is You give these young men money, and they feel like that's their ticket to do what everybody else does. And
No, sir.
you still have to realize at the end of the day, use a nigga with some bread.
Yep. And it what Kanye said, you still a nigga in the coop. That's what's going on. Like,
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's where we are with that, man. That's where we are. But yeah, we're definitely gonna have some interesting conversation. I know we were supposed to talk sports today.
Yeah, man.
We did. We talked about sports. Shout out to the homie Gavin again, man. Shout out to the homie
Absolutely.
Gavin. Hey, shout out to the Beast.
The Beast, Jim. Thank you, man, for coming on, man. We're gonna get him back on again. I messaged him on the side after he left and told him like, yo, I really appreciate you coming on. He said, yeah, anytime. So I'm gonna link up with him another time and try and set up a little bit more a little bit earlier so I can get him right.
We're just going to do an interview with him. We got to talk about his group. Like, we're going to do a whole 30, 45 minutes with him.
Right.
Just on the humbug. But we'll bring Gavin in on that part too, man. Because him and Gavin have a whole different conversation that we would have with him. So we'll start it off. We'll bring Gavin and let him come in there and talk that talk, man. But definitely appreciate you up for us, man. That was all love. We're going to be posting on Saturday, right?
Yes, sir. Saturday, we're gonna stay focused, stay tuned to the Facebook and Instagram page because we've been taking feedback from a lot of y'all out there. A lot of y'all been watching and telling us what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of.
Too late. Let's just go ahead and tell them right now.
Right,
10 o'clock too late.
10 o'clock too late.
We jumping on at 8 o'clock on our lives and our weekend shows. Our Saturday shows will come on at 8 o'clock now.
Right.
We're gonna get in earlier for y'all. We have listened. We have heard you. We understand. I said y'all can just listen to us on y'all way to the club. Y'all say some of us too old to go to the club. We trying to listen and go to bed. So
yeah, that's true though. That's a real comment, people.
but for the folks on the West Coast, I know you may not want to watch at 5 o'clock. So it's gonna be recorded so you can watch it then. But we'll definitely listen to the masses, and we are going to move these times up. So this weekend we're gonna be dropping at 8 o'clock Eastern time on this Saturday. We have some mental health discussions that we're gonna break into. He's had his dealings with the mental health institutions. We're gonna have Tina.
Whoa! Fix that.
Well, I can't even say he wasn't in there because you was in there.
I was in there like a mug, but I wasn't in there.
He was working. All right, he has worked with some of those situations. I've dealt with some crazy people in my life, so I'll give some of those firsthand experiences. She Speaks Solutions. We're gonna have them on this particular weekend. They have the Worldwide Mental Health Day coming up at St. Leo's University and at FAMU. So we're gonna get into those discussions so we can let everybody know what's going on there. But we'll be there, and then we will be live. We are in October. We will be live on the 21st.
Man,
Battle of the Sexes will be happening on the 21st, live from Duval.
Oh,
I have my guys set and ready.
You do? You got them?
Oh, my dudes are ready. The ladies say they are ready also. So all I'm gonna say is, if you're expecting Tech and I to give any form of conversation, we will be the hosts. We will be the moderators. We will not give a single opinion on this on the 21st.
No,
we are here to let you guys speak for you guys. So we have picked a select group of men and women who will be speaking for you. If you have a question that you want to ask the member of the opposite sex, you let us know. We will ask it for you and have your peers be the ones to answer that question for you.
I think we should go all the way like on some real debate type joint, and I want to sit on one and I'm gonna put a suit on. I'm gonna get me them little cue cards
We going Steve Harvey on this one.
I'm going Steve Harvey. Look here. We asked 100 women. Yo, but hey, that's go. I can't wait for that show. I can't wait for that show. We're gonna be in Duval. We're gonna be in the same building. This will be the most interactive show that we've done so far, man. I'm really looking forward to that because some of the people that I know that are going to be there, I value their opinion, and I really want to hear what their opinion is when it comes to some of these questions. I'm already getting questions. I know, Voice, you getting questions, and we're opening this up. Also, real quick, man, look, I want to say we're 90. Let me double check because we're so close to that 100 followers mark, man, on all our platforms.
We need like 10 more.
Look here, man. We need 11 followers on Facebook to make that.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Straight up.
Please do. And just it don't cost them. We ain't asked y'all for a dime yet, man. So just
not yet.
Not yet. But I do want y'all to hit a share button. Hit a share button and
these liquor bottles starting to add up, baby. These liquor bottles starting to add up.
And that's the other thing. The next show, the 21st, we'll have a new liquor. You see right there behind him, he got the Nyack on the shelf, unopened still. It makes me nervous when he has the bottle of liquor and if it's going to stay unopened. But at the end of the season, man, we're going to go through them and we're going to open them up. We're going to give you our thoughts as far as which ones we like. Maybe we should rank them all. Rank them our favorite to
come August 2024. So that just lets y'all know we're gonna be here. We ain't going nowhere, man.
Nowhere.
We giving y'all this cancellation talk. We're gonna talk the way we talk. Because pretty much what's really happening is me and y'all just in here on conversations me and my cousin have. That's all it is. I forget we even recording half the time. And last week I completely forgot. I was talking to people, and that's where you caught that tirade that I went through.
Tirade. This nigga dropped the F-bomb multiple times. And he said she stick. He said, we ain't going back. But he said she stick repeatedly. That nigga says she stick repeatedly.
But I promise you, I completely forget that I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to my cousin. So y'all just listen to the conversations that we have. Like I said, it's real topics, real opinions, real raw. Like this is the truth. This is just us. So
right. We've had most of these conversations.
Welcome to the living room, and we're gonna keep bringing it to y'all. We got weeks and weeks and weeks of topics and discussions, and we're just gonna keep bringing that to y'all. So definitely be looking out this Saturday.
Yeah,
we got something for you. I apologize to anybody who put money on Charlo on my behalf. Don't do that ever again.
They already know not to listen to me for picks, not for football.
Right. But like I said, Peach said stick to football. So Peach, I got you.
Yeah.
Shout out to KT. Reese, what up, baby?
Hey, while we shooting shout outs, hey, look right here on my shirt. This is a Juneteenth custom shirt from the girls up there. Custom Journey. Hey, listen, man. It's another one. They didn't ask the sponsor. I just had this shirt on today, and I really like it. And so I'm like, yo, I need it. Anytime I need something from them, I can hit them up, and they get me right.
Shout out to Dr. Poe in the YouTube comments. Shout out to Dr. Poe in the YouTube comments. I don't know who on the Facebook comments. I know
they all the same ones. Tara in there too.
There was one person in that called me beforehand today to tell me how horrible your Gators were. I ain't gonna even call her name out or nothing like that. She said you probably still mad at her for knocking the peach out your hand some years ago. But she said, tell that nigga I'm on their ass because the niggas trash. So I'm just gonna say that part and I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
So why you wait till we get to the end of the show and then you're trying to throw darts? Like I don't like that. Hey, shout out to Tara. Tara, I see you in there, mama. She want to know who the women are. We're not getting ready to tell you. We ain't gonna tell you who the women are yet.
You'll see them.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be phenomenal. Hey, but listen, one more thing, and I didn't even think about this before we jumped on. We saw the fight in the football games. We're like, yo, let's just go live. Hit them up with something on Monday. Our sister podcast went live tonight too, over there at The Melanin Mindset. So
Check
they were
out the
going
Melanin
live.
Mindset for sure.
So when you get off of here, when you get done watching here, go over and search them on YouTube and on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff, and catch that
This is your
episode
brother,
from
so
tonight.
I would have never bumped heads with y'all queens. I would have never done that. I love y'all.
Hey, listen.
It's his fault.
Big Papa Poe is in the comments, and he said, "Yeah, you know the ladies go live on Monday." I was like, "I forgot, and I'm so sorry." But you know what? They know we love them.
I would have never done it. I was trying to watch, but
They
I
know
got
we
mad
love them.
because niggas want to talk shit to me about a fight. Oh, fuck ass.
Hey, you don't understand how happy I was. No.
He was way too geek. Way too geek. But it's
Talk
all right.
about the hater spirit, nigga. I was hating. I was like, yes, take that nigga down. Yes.
You've been waiting on this. That's all right, though, because we're going to come back on Saturday. I'm going to have some picks for you.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get up out of here, did you see Jimmy Butler today?
Nigga, I was watching that before I got, oh my God. That nigga got bangs and piercings.
Like the emo white lady out there. Not the bang gang.
The bangs, nigga. That nigga came and sat down. Hey, look here. If you a nigga and you sit down and do one of these right here, that's a problem. That's a problem. If you got to,
but if you got to get into this NFL, we're gonna get into this NBA thing soon too, man, because there's been a lot of different moves made recently. So yeah, we got a lot to discuss on the sports front. We got a lot to discuss on the political fronts happening, man.
Woo!
So we got a lot of things to talk about. Hey, all of y'all with student loans, I understand. We are now in a position where we got to start giving the government back their money. That belt's gonna tighten a little bit. I appreciate what they did for them COVID years, but bruh, it's hard out here. Hey, if you gotta hit the pole, it's okay. All right, just tell me where you're gonna be. I got a couple dollars for you.
I don't. I have no money for you. I ain't got no money for you. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why I got no money for you.
I understand if you. I don't buy drugs anymore, but I know some folks who do. So if you got to do your thing, let me know. I can send somebody your way.
Hey, listen, man. I have no sympathy for y'all because long before COVID, I went to school. I went to college. I don't know what for. Like I wasted a whole bunch of money. I don't know. I ain't got no degree. But listen, I went, and apparently, if you just ignore student loans, it's not like anything. They come and get their money. So they took money out of they took my last like 5 or 6 like income tax refunds. Them niggas did. And when I tell you, I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating, bro. My last income tax refund that they took was 2020. That paid off my student loans.
Bro.
Did you hear what year I said? 2020. Yeah, after that comes COVID.
Because there's a lot of folks that went to school for like 4 or 6 years, and they have like a bunch of years in debt. So all I'm saying is sex work is legal now. Get your OnlyFans page. Get your, what's the other ones called? Fansley.
Don't ask me, nigga.
I'm just going by what I heard about. I tried to give you an OnlyFans page. I see too many goddamn questions. I was trying to sell these feet pics, nigga. I was trying to sell these pics.
Here, check out these nipples right here. Just one nipple. Bam.
Nigga, I'm showing both of my titties, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Nigga. They paying, I'm playing. You said paying, I'm playing. I don't give no fuck. The OnlyFans wanted too much verification information. I couldn't get it all to them, so I couldn't get my foot page up. So if anybody knows how to get my foot page, I got some nice feet, 13s. So if anybody know how to get me an OnlyFans page up, help a nigga out, man. I need to pay off some of these loans.
Well, this is the part of the show where we've gone off the rails. Hey, yo, but real talk, cousin. Hey, man, good conversation tonight, man. Again, shout out to Gavin. Shout out to Jim the Beast Aylers. Shout out to everybody who's watching and supporting us, man. We really do appreciate it. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Get us up to that 100 mark, man. We love y'all.
Tell some friends.
Most definitely, man. And with that, bro, hey, man. I don't think we got canceled yet, so we got to do another show.
We got another one to go, man. Love you, boy.
All right, love you too, boy. Be easy.
Yes, sir. We out.
Yeah.